Chosen, tires in the black around my feet. I walk across the ocean, floating. Tire pump the ego up, baby, gon' stroke it. I deserve a moment for all the time the car declined, the bank account's frozen. Doing anything and everything up under the sun. I had the face change your name, dog, double the ones. I'm finally bonds through jobs that I was moonlighting. Getting green, dodging beef like I was bullfighting. Understand, I ain't afraid to take a loss. I'm just trying to keep the business out the vision of my pops, dog. And all the drama, it be blowing up the spot, dog. And that ain't even really what you want. I got my homies in the back, chick up in the front. Send the block for the track, shit with the bags up in the trunk, motherfucker, blow. And none of this shit is made up. Name be the only thing that changed up. I came up, keeping my promise to fuck the game up.
What's going on, guys?
What's up? What's up?
Oh, God, how did you guys get back in the wrong places? Come on, you guys moving around without my my permission. What's up, guys? Everyone, I am here with one of my oldest of friends, and he's made quite the name for himself. How you doing, Evan?
I'm doing well.
Do you like to be called Still Evan now, or what's the deal?
Nah, man, it's 70 to you. Anybody else wants to be like Still? But
Yeah.
it'd be weird. That's weird, right?
Yeah, if it's a change, like, but I do like. I will say this. I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, your name, your like stage name was Ill Evan for a long time, and I like how you did the Still Evan. I thought that was growing out of the name. It's like a transition, but you still want to keep like a little bit of it. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what it was. I wanted to do something that was like kind of just saying like things are changing, but not entirely.
Right.
And it just gives you an opportunity to kind of like shake it up and kind of go in the direction you really wanted to go without feeling like tied to anything. Right.
And I mean, I remember when you first, I remember when you first kind of like got into it and you first, became, took a step towards actually doing it. Cause a lot of people from where we grew up, they would dibble dabble and the local kids that are like, I'm a rapper.
Yeah, everybody's a rapper now.
Yeah, and you kind of turn and laugh and keep it moving. But Evan actually, he was always a smart guy, and he was always good with his words. So I never laughed at you behind your back. I was always like, I think he could do something with it, because hip hop is different than rap. Like I feel like you have more of a hip hop tag where you're a good performer. I've seen you live, and I really enjoyed that. So I mean, walk us through like the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I think even like one of the first memories I have of like rapping like in front of people was like with you at Doug's house during like the Bruins Cup run one year. They won that year, I believe.
I do.
Yeah.
Was it 2011? So that's a long time now.
Yeah. That would be about right. I mean, I started writing stuff in high school, but I didn't really start like rapping in front of people until college. So yeah, 2011 would definitely be the year. And man, it was just one of those things where like as I kind of I dropped out of school and I was always writing stuff and always trying things out, and then you know, it gets to a point where I'm like, all right, am I doing this? Like, am
Yeah.
I, you know, and you just kind of start going for it. But there is always that, you know, feeling, and it would happen like to my face where, you know, people laughing about like, you know, okay, yeah, another kid from Billerica that says you right. You know, like it's boring. And so people I know, like friends that are just like, come on, dude, really, you're gonna start, you know? And but I think the whole key to why now those same people are cool and like my stuff or check it out is because they're like, whoa, it's been 10 years and he's like still doing it. Like he didn't stop, you know, and I think that was just the thing. And I always kind of just did it for me anyway. So it was easy to not like,
right. And I feel like that's what people like, the misconception of it is like, when we were that young, it's everything's a hobby, right? Nothing is, you know, nothing is not a hobby because you're just not old enough. Like you're just not old enough. You know, you're still in high school. People have that view upon you, like, oh, you know, he's still figuring it out. Well, no, that's not the case for some people, and I don't think it ever was for you, because I mean, at least for you and I, like we had different views. I never wanted to be a policeman. I never wanted to be,
right,
you know, a firefighter or any like astronaut or anything like a normal kid's supposed to be. It's like saw my first movie and I was like, that's what I want to do.
right.
And that didn't work out, right? So I changed the game, and you know, I think that, you know, whatever happens to you in the future, even if it isn't exactly what you think, like I know that you'll never have like an office job. It'll be something in music because that's what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's funny. Well, I do, you know, work, you know, have day jobs too, you know, but yeah, I mean, it's like I go to, you know, you go to work or whatever, you're doing whatever you're doing, and it's not what you want to be doing. It's just, you know, I'm one of those people that's like, I have conversations with, you know, even like my dad and stuff. He's like, I'm proud of like how you're doing, you know, you're making money and you're doing well, and you know, you got the wife, you got a house and whatever, you know, and you know, you have to go, Dad, this is not like the wife in the house. Yes, the sitting at a desk and, you know, and
oh, it's so bad
dealing with an email and like, you know, just anything like that is just, it starts like weighing down on, you know, people like me, myself and you and you know, so Lord Almighty, just even thinking about doing that, you know, for your whole life. For me, I'm just like, it's hard.
I can't do it. Yeah, I can't. Right. And so things progressed for you. Things progressed. And so what did you like? When did you do your first like actual show? Like when did you like around, or was it like nerve wracking? Because I feel like what we do is a little different, right? Like it's like cameras and, you know, lights. It's similar in a way. It's not similar in other ways. But like being on stage in front of actual people, and they're there to singularly watch you. Or maybe the lineup, but they're there for you in some capacity. I mean, does that get a little nerve wracking?
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about like my first show, which was like a long time, you know, 2013 maybe. You know, like wow. Actually, my first performance was at some college party, and they had a live band in the basement, and they were kind of just jamming out on like funk grooves, you know, and the singer was like off doing whatever, playing beer pong or something, and so the band's just like jamming out, and they had like, so one kid jumps on, he starts rapping, and then I kind of was like, oh, I actually have like some, so I'm gonna like spit some bars on these fools and shit. You know, and actually I did all right, but alcohol definitely helped.
Oh yeah. Liquid confidence.
My first like real show where I like sold tickets and, you know, had my name on the bill. Yeah, it was like weird. It was crazy. I mean, I was definitely really nervous, and I remember I went to the bathroom and you know, took a piss or whatever and came out, and I realized that I was in like the women's bathroom, honestly. I was like so like oh, I gotta go to the bathroom, and like it just like, oh, there's a door, like go through it, oh, here's a toilet, pee in it, you know. And,
like, that's true though. You like start like you start losing composure in a way and shaking and like, this is actually going to happen. And it's actually really similar for like stand-up comedians. In the sense that you're going to be on a stage, you're in front of people, they're there and their eyes are all on you. Right. So, it can get, I would believe, like for me, maybe a little heart attack happens, you know, and I do respect what you do. And it has this pandemic really like sucked for that.
Yeah, yes and no. 50 Nick, bruh, by the way, picture the crowd in the underwear. You do picture whatever you got to picture. Sometimes you just like lock in on one person, just this guy in the chat. Sometimes you just lock in on one person. You're like, I'm just gonna like just to
you're just to them that night.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for at least like a couple lines or something like that. Cause you just, but once you kind of get into it, but that first like few minutes, geez Louise. I'm sorry. What was your question again?
So the pandemic is for people that do like live performances, right? Maybe that's how they, you know, get their name out, get attention brought on them, you know, because it's one thing to put a record or a single or whatever on Spotify and promote it like that, right? It's another to get out there and do the work and spread your name, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many. We were talking earlier before about, you know, Spotify playlists and how much that helps get you on. But at the end of the day, there really isn't anything like going up on stage and, you know, especially for the brand or the genre of hip hop that I do, where it's like going up there, knowing all your lines, you know, not having any backing vocal tracks, you know, like rapping. You know,
right.
bars,
however,
you know what I mean? You know, it's invaluable to do it in front of people. So, so that part's kind of, you know, been
halted.
Yeah. It's, you know, we went on tour, and we did, you know, like a month or so kind of from like the north, the Midwest into the Northeast. And we kind of did this like horseshoe. Man, it was like every night you're meeting new people, you know, new guys following you on all your social or buying a shirt or listening to you and telling their friends about you. And because they saw you live and they know that you're from out of town, you know,
it's a rush.
Yeah, man. And they really, like, people are more apt to listen to and get into you that way than like if they know you from school or from this or that, you know. So that part's been tough.
I feel like for and this is maybe something else is like you know, someone from school, they're like, that's Evan, but someone on the road is like, no, that's still Evan, right? Like they don't know you for anything but the music, and sometimes that's better.
Yeah,
I mean, know, in the sense of like being a businessman almost.
Yeah.
You know, so they don't know they don't know that I peed my pants in high school. Like, no, not that you did, by the way. For the record, he never. I don't think he ever peed his pants.
I think you just sold yourself out there, dude.
I did. I definitely peed myself a couple times.
There was a sleepover at this kid's house. I'm not gonna say his name. Oh my god, dude. I woke up in like a puddle of pee, and I was just like, no, I'm too old for this. And it was crazy. Like I swear to God, I got up in the 3:00 in the morning, and like, you know, I'm in his sleeping bag. It's his, you know, and I'm like, and I literally like went down into his laundry room and like threw like the thing
threw the bag in there,
and went back upstairs and like just like soaked in and I was just like, I'm just gonna wait till I dry off and you know. And the next morning, you know, he was like, did you my mom said somebody went in and started a load of laundry.
You know, it was a long story, but it's not what you think it is. Hey, listen, you know what? It happens to the best of us, you know?
If you can't laugh about it, you know, 20 years later or whatever, or we'll say it was 20. We'll make it seem like I was younger than I really was. If you can't laugh about it later, I mean, what's the point, right?
Well, here.
If I can't tell you guys that story.
Exactly. But shit, what were we talking about?
Jack had a good question actually. Evan, what artist, if you could work with any artist, who would you want to work with?
Oh man.
I'm sure there's like a list. Like,
Yeah, there's a list. Like,
so let's give you like your top three artists that you would want to get in the studio with.
Oh man. Listen, don't hate me. Number one gotta be Kanye.
All right, yeah, that's my man.
Come on, just because.
Right, cool.
Just
Woo.
because.
Hey, Kanye's a legend.
He's a
And
legend.
he always will be.
He's a legend. He's out of his mind, but it works. It's
Right.
It works for his personal brand, and his music is always crazy. Who said Joyner Lucas? Joyner Lucas is dope. Actually, I did because he's from Worcester, actually. Like,
Yeah.
I did a show for him like a year before, way long ago. Man.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, but that is once again, I mean, he was nobody too,
Yeah, exactly though. Like, and I feel like that goes a long way for an artist like yourself, seeing that happen to someone, because you're like, okay, it can happen. Like, based on where you are has nothing to do with it. It's the work that you put in.
Yeah.
Right. And we see it time and time again. I mean, and I feel bad about saying it, you got guys like DMX, like really, really like get into the lifestyle. And I think hip hop's gotten a bad name over the years for certain different things. I mean, we all know that, right? But I feel like it's pretty like depressing, because what you do is I find just as hard as playing in a rock band or anything, right? Any music. I know I couldn't do it. So I mean, Austin has a studio, right? So
right.
You built a studio, and like,
oh wow, okay.
Me and some friends helped. You're right. We built this studio over at my friend's house, like from the ground up and everything.
Yeah.
And they did a lot of the actual building and work, and I just kind of watched. But no, they're all producers, and a good friend of mine, he went to Syracuse in New York, for music producing and all that. And so I understand. It's like, it's a lot of work and it's a lot of sticking with it. But once you have that, even like the smallest space or the smallest crowd, that can spread, man. Those guys, once they like your music, especially like somebody that's outside your friend group or whatever, they get passionate about it,
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, Ryan Boudreau, man, I haven't seen that name in a long while. My Lord. Ryan Boudreau. It's nice to see the Billerica crowd, man. Unfortunately, the last time I was there was for my mother's funeral, but I did get to see a lot of good faces, and a lot of good people showed up. A lot of people I used to hang out with, and it's unfortunate that, like, because I feel like when you're young, like when you're a kid, to tell you like, oh, enjoy your friends while now, because like, trust me, it comes down to you and you only, and it will happen. Trust me. And no, we're gonna be friends forever, right? We're gonna be friends. We're gonna hang out every day forever. And the minute that stops happening, you're like, what? And I mean, I used to see Evan almost every day.
Yeah,
almost every day or close to it, especially every weekend. And it is a crazy feeling. Like, and I do like seeing across the pond that you've made a name for yourself, and you're doing well, and in whatever capacity that takes,
Yeah, man, I'll say the same thing about you too, man. I remember when you first, it wasn't even that long ago, dude, when your first episode of the podcast came out, and that
7 months.
Just knowing you and knowing how much you're into movies. And I remember with like Ryan Boudreau, like when we're all like hanging out at the mobile and whatever, and talking and just like hearing you talk about movies and comic books and Marvel and everything, and just your ideas. And you always had, you were always just in it, and so when I saw this launch, and just from where it started only 7 months ago to the, the quality and where we're at now is just insane.
Yeah, I was telling someone the other day, I was like, if you watch that first episode, it's funny because I'm sure you have a similar story.
Yeah.
If you like watch the first episode now, when that came out though, I was like, that's a banger right there. Like that's
Slap
fire, right? That's great. It's like the green screen was like not placed right. Like there was blue in the frame, like it was grainy, but I was like, that's a banger right there. You know, like that was great. And but yeah, it is weird, and but it's been a fun ride, and like now I get to meet like Austin's from Las Vegas, our producer's from Philadelphia. You know, co-host is someone I met in Boston, and you know, you have a group behind you. So is it still Il Supreme behind you?
Yeah, Supreme Corps Records, actually. So Il Supreme is the group, is the musical group. So, you know, we put out music together, and then Supreme Corps Records is like the umbrella. So we all have our solo stuff that we put out on that label, and then the group stuff. And then we actually brought in another guy. He's from New Jersey. This guy, Wes Nihil, he's an animal. He's literally insane, but he's sick, you know?
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, Supreme Corps Records. And yeah, we're like, you know, just there all these contributing factors in it.
So how does that work? Because I'd be interested to know, and maybe, you know, I'm asking a stupid question here, but so I mean, I know do you have someone that like makes the music, or do you help make the music, or like I know you write the music, like you write the lines to it, but how does that all unfold, and how do you get to a completed song?
Yeah, I mean, well, actually, I mean, I actually make all the beats myself. Well, I make my own beats. I play bass and keyboard and drum machine, and I'll make all the music, and I'll do all the production. The last project that just came out, that's all me, except for one beat was actually made by this dude, True Classic. If he's watching, shout out True Classic out in Michigan. But yeah, I mean, it's either you have to make it yourself, or you find, you know, somebody else to work with, or somebody just like will make an instrumental and just send it to you. I'm sure you've seen the Rick Ross type beat, you know, type of things on YouTube.
Yeah, I've actually gotten sent music from one of our viewers as like mixes or mixes, produces music. I mean, he actually when the outro comes, right? When the outro music comes, he actually wrote that or did it for us. And, you know, I thought that was really cool. Like once you start like getting out there and you meet people, like you said, Michigan, wherever, people start like, hey, like let's collaborate. I'd be surprised at how many Boston musicians or rappers there actually are that like probably have good music, but have a hard time getting found. And I think that's what social media and these things like Spotify have done well, is give a platform to those who wouldn't have one.
Right. Which I was going to ask, actually, that you mentioned that. What, you know, obviously you guys are in Boston. I don't know. What's the local rap scene or local hip hop scene like out there? Is there a lot of competition? Everybody, you know, I'll be honest. Over here in Vegas, everyone's a rapper. Everyone's a rapper in Vegas. I'm not kidding. You know, So
I love that you did it, though.
I'm sorry. Geez, it's fun. I was hoping somebody would ask this question, because I love talking about it, like the scene here and the scene of like other places. There's a lot of rappers in the area, in Boston and in New England as a whole, and I would say that when you think of like rap and you think of like the rap scenes or whatever, there's like, you know, they're like, oh, it's New York, or it's Atlanta, or the Chicago scene, or, you know, LA or whatever. It's always like about the city. And, you know, when you talk about Boston, the Boston scene, it's not, it's the New England scene. It's not the Boston scene. And so it's, you know, Boston as itself, there's like 2 venues that allow hip hop in the whole city of Boston.
Really?
You know, it's crazy. I mean, like there's clubs that'll have DJs that play hip hop, but they won't do live hip hop shows. There's only a few.
Well, and that's probably, there's a bad rap that comes with live hip-hop.
Well, I mean, like to this day, the same, like the club owners and the venue owners say, we don't want to have hip hop because we don't want to have anybody get shot or stabbed outside the venue. We don't want to fight. You're going to have like Code Orange come through and play like the hardest metal music you've ever heard, and people literally kicking each other in the teeth for fun at the show, but you're not going to have some like chill hip hop, like
right.
You know what I mean? It's like
we have the same thing down here. There's venues down here that are like, even on the Strip or on Fremont, that are like, we don't do no hip hop.
Now, do you think that that's a problem? I think that that's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like it's 100% racial, like number one, right?
Yeah.
Out of the gate. It's like everybody who does, like the dudes that don't let hip hop at their place, names are like Mickey, and they,
We're talking to you, Mickey.
yeah,
We're talking.
they own a place where their logo is a clover.
Clover.
And like,
every other one.
Like Mickey's, music
Bastard bar. Yeah.
It's like Boston's got like the hidden racism, right? So it's like it's just that weird Northeast, like it's just weird. So but yeah, I mean it's racial. It's like they, all of it's based in nonfiction at this point in time now, and
right.
And it doesn't make any sense.
So what would have to happen? So what's your part in like trying to like change that dynamic? Would you talk to someone and be like, listen, how about this? We do one show and then afterwards, if it's a problem, that's a problem, right? Like I'll take responsibility, but
right. Yeah. I mean, that's like really how it goes. I mean, there's a lot of guys around here that do that, that'll go find places and say, listen, like, give me a night, give me Sunday night. I'll take Sunday night,
right.
Like after the dinner rush, whatever, and turn it into something. There's actually something called Rap Night that's in Manchester, New Hampshire, and Portland, Maine, and they rotate it every other Sunday.
Whoops, that's me. Sorry.
But no, yeah, I mean, so that they took a Sunday night, right? And they said, whatever, give us Sunday, we'll take whatever we can get. Should be a Saturday, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But they turned it into this like brand, this scene that like, if you are from New England and you want to say you're a rapper, you must do Rap Night. You must go to that place and like get on the stage and freestyle. And like and go to Portland and do the same thing. And if they like you, then they'll give you a set, and that's how they do it. They'll have like 4 performers, like 2 main ones and 2 kind of like under guys. And in the beginning, it's a big cipher where everybody, anybody can get up on stage and freestyle. Then 2 acts, everybody gets up and freestyles. 2 more acts, and then they'll shut the night out doing ciphers, and it's crazy. But they turned a Sunday night into a banger, and so but that's what you have to do. And I know tons of guys that are doing that at billiards clubs and hookah lounges and like any place that'll have them. And I did one, like the guy was like, I'll give you Tuesday, and I'm like, I'll take a Tuesday, at this weird place, and that's how you got to do it. And if things go well, they'll ask you to do it again, and if not, like whatever, you just kind of move on. But there's so many places, and now it is getting to that point. But you have to hunt. You can't be lazy. You have to go out there and find people. But but in New England in general, it's been a battle. When you go on tour and you get to Minneapolis, where Prince is from and where all these big huge artists are from, you realize that like the city of Minneapolis is tiny. The Twin Cities, you take them both and stick them together, it's not that big,
right?
And but on any night, there's like 30 venues having live hip hop. Any night, just in the city. You don't even got to drive anywhere. You can walk and hit all of them. And we did, like one night we went like just show hopping, and I was like, this is crazy. I can't believe this exists. No wonder people blow up from the city, because you can go every single night and you can do 5 sets in a night, no problem. And it's crazy that that around here
that's very common in that place, and then everywhere else, because that's not something you find here either,
No,
so that's a very unique thing, so that's what I was gonna, is it a pretty collaborative group out there, or is it mainly kind of competition, everybody?
Yeah, around here it's competition straight up. Like it's cool, like it's friendly, like everybody kind of ends up finding the group of other artists that they're cool with. But but even still, like I can't tell you it's a big chunk of people that will be uplifting to each other. You hear about other cities, Chicago, one dude blows up and he reaches his hand down and he pulls up like a whole group of dudes with him, and they all blow up with them. Around here, Joyner Lucas didn't bring anybody with them.
Exactly.
Token didn't. He left the North Shore and completely. He probably got a couple buddies, staying with them or whatever, but like they didn't come over here and set up like a business here and turn what could be something cool. But like other artists like Prince stayed in Minneapolis and said, I'm building a studio here. I'm bringing all the best musicians here.
And that's what a good artist will do is if they came up in an area that they know that the game's pretty strong, right? Like around them, like why wouldn't you want to help the guy that's exactly like you, right? Yeah. That will never get the chance, right? But you got the chance and you took it and you did well with it, right? And now you want to turn around and like give back to the community. And I get it though. I guess I get why people like take and run, but
there's that. Well, around here, it's like it's not opportunities like it is in Atlanta, New York, Chicago, LA. It's not like the labels are here. It's not like the A&R guys are going to shows in New England, in Boston, or whatever to find the next hot talent or what. It's just it doesn't exist here. So the opportunities are nil. So it's like if when you get that opportunity around here to like go open up on a tour for somebody big or work with a bigger artist or someone hears your, you get the hell out of the city. And you go to New York and you go to LA because if you stay here, it's kind of this weird self-perpetuating thing where if you stay here, you could be just like missing out on opportunities.
Have you ever talked to Ashley about leaving?
Yeah. Come on.
Like honestly, yeah. Right?
I mean, we wouldn't leave and go to another cold place like New York or something, but we definitely do LA. If man. She likes the warm weather. She's sick of the winter, Yeah,
but then comes a whole mess of problems because we've had the same thoughts, right? Where's a podcast going to do the best?
Yeah.
Well, I know exactly where.
Right.
But what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, what's the real price that we're going to be paying? So, I mean, I'm definitely in on that with you. Maybe we can all live together. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey guys, come to Vegas. Vegas
is dope. Actually, I got an uncle who lives in Vegas, and he's been trying to get me out there. So,
man, that's one of those things where it's like the housing market's not bad. It's really nice, really affordable. 4 hours from LA.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's true.
Forget like how not crazy in the middle of nowhere Vegas is. I mean, it's
right,
like
it is, but it isn't. Right.
Exactly. 4 hours is nothing.
No, hell no.
Yeah, on the West Coast, 4 hours is an afternoon drive.
I've done the drive. Andrew and I did it. Yeah. Andrew and I did it when we drove back from when he left the Marine Corps. I flew out. Well, the day that our mutual friend, I guess. I think I met you before Andrew. Like, I think I met you a long time before Andrew.
Yeah.
What am I talking about?
Yeah. Like
we grew up like Ox Road. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
God, I'm so terrible.
Is that your grandparents' house?
Yeah, that was my grandparents' house.
Yeah, I would cut through from your grandparents' house through the woods to my grandparents' house to get up on my street. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh God. Such good times. That is wild. But so our mutual friend got the Marine Corps. I flew out. I met him on the day that he left the Marine Corps, honorably. And we drove back from California. Have to specify the honorably.
For him, you never know.
It almost wasn't honorably a year before that, but we won't talk about that, right, Andrew? So we drove back and all of a sudden we're in Vegas. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. How did that just happen? He's like, oh yeah, this is Vegas, but we're not stopping. And I was like, why not? And he's like, yeah, terrible times. Yeah. Like he's like, the Marine Corps balls held here every year, and bad memories, so we can't stop. Exactly. I was like, but yeah, that's beside the point. But I do have a question. Oh my God,
Let's go! Let's go!
That's hilarious.
I was so hoping he was watching.
Yeah. Like, he would not let me stop in Vegas.
You little troublemaker.
Yeah, he's a little troublemaker. But he's gonna come on soon as well. I'm gonna rip him. I mean, not rip him, but drag him on. But
do it.
So you had mentioned something earlier, and I have a question. What is a cipher? What is a cipher?
A cipher is just like a round robin of people freestyling. So either a cappella or with beats. So technically, like a cipher beat would be just like a loop that just loops forever.
Okay.
And you rap until you run out of stuff to say, and then
the next person goes.
jumps right in and just keeps going, and it's just kind of like, it's almost like a hacky sack circle, and you're like, in a circle, and you say one thing, and some dude picks up on it, and he goes, all right, I'm going to use that word, and go, and
oh, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. I mean, but you have like ball hogs though that'll like literally bust out like their notebook and be like,
oh Jesus Christ,
raps right now.
Oh man, that's this guy. Yeah. That's him. Yeah. But yeah, so what do you think of? So someone asked the question. So what do you think about? Like, would you ever diss Eminem and like take that ride up? Right?
Absolutely not. Why?
Come on, man.
Like MGK. Listen, I'm gonna say.
I know. I liked his song, by the way, "The Rap Devil." I didn't mind it.
Bars. Here's the thing. Here's what I'm gonna say. We need to think about this, right? Because MGK can rap. Like, I'm not like an MGK fan. I couldn't.
Neither am I, and I agree.
Yeah, but he can rap. But here's the thing. He now puts out pop punk.
Right.
He put out a pop punk album after he went, back and forth with Eminem.
Right. I'm telling you, that's the way to fame. And Eminem said it, I believe, right? Like, you calling me out so you can get famous off my name, pretty much, and it happened.
And that's what he did. But even, at least he won't. He didn't put out another rap out. Like, I think what happened is he got like people ragged on him so bad for going after Eminem, and Eminem ripped it up.
Of course,
and they both did, right? But it's Eminem,
right?
Guys, what are you doing?
What is the word I'm looking for? Like, bodied him or something, right?
Yeah,
bodied him.
Well, and the thing is that like your catalog will not compare.
Right? It never
doesn't
will.
matter if you're a fan or not. Like, it's like it just will not compare. And so
he said it.
I guess I'm gonna learn how to play guitar now and try to sing because I don't feel like doing that again. I mean, who knows? He probably not. He's like with Megan Fox, so like he probably just
he's doing pretty well for himself still.
Right? He's right. MGK is fine. Would I ever do what MGK did? Absolutely fucking not.
Right. Absolutely That's not. My boy. At least, you've always been a smart guy.
Well, I'm not a dick.
Yeah. Do you think that Eminem is the greatest to have ever rapped? Up there with Tupac and Biggie and all those guys?
Yeah, he's up there. He's definitely not my favorite.
Really? What's your so if you had to maybe classify your idols, because I feel like for most people, right, especially for guys like me who maybe don't know as much about like the history and how the art came to be, right? Because the story is actually pretty it's very dense, and there's a lot of history behind the art of hip hop and rap specifically, and what it meant for that community of people. Yeah. So with that being said, though, I feel like when someone like me thinks of rap, they think, Biggie Smalls, Tupac Shakur, Jay-Z, like guys like that, right? Those are the guys, right? Those are the guys. So for you, for being in the art yourself, who are those guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think like, the ones that I look at like from that era, would definitely be, Biggie's just crazy. Jay-Z, this jazz rap group called Diggable Planets. They're not like huge, but they changed it. Like, they were this underground thing that changed how people thought, like, oh my God, you can do something that weird. And then, that's where you got like the avant-garde and the jazz rap stuff, but, I mean, so many. I mean, Nas.
Right. Oh, I forgot about him.
And then, Gangstar. There's so many. I mean, there's so many. Snoop Dogg. That's another thing people don't understand. Snoop Dogg was bigger than Tupac, bigger than Biggie. At that, like, he was huge. He was so big because he was so accessible and like cool and and like.
Right.
Like that, and I hate to say it, but the white market could get behind it, after, so Snoop Dogg, I mean, geez, Dr. Dre. So, all right. So I'll say this: if I were to like categorize it, I'd say like Dr. Dre, because he's like a genius. Kanye West, honestly, he's a little later than that. Producers, the guys that produce, are the ones that I really admire, the ones that make the music or make it sound a certain way. So Dre, Kanye, there's a guy Big Crit I'm like obsessed with, those guys. But if I were to put like Eminem somewhere in there, I mean, it's weird because like there's something about white rappers for me. It's so weird coming out of a white dude's mouth, but I on just for no reason was like, I'm never listening to Mac Miller because people say I kind of like him.
Oh my God, you hated that. I've never met someone.
If I wore a flat brim hat, was like, dude,
you could impersonate him and like probably get famous quicker because.
Honestly, do you have any idea how many times I like had to fight the urge? Mac Miller's ghost dope at rap, like tagline,
deep fake,
like rap it, like in
deep fake for him.
Yeah, exactly. Like
don't cave, man. Don't do it. Someone is so Mike was asking what his signed copy of Evan's first mixtape is worth.
I'll give you what you paid for it. Actually, no, if it's the one that looks like the vinyl record, the OG one that like didn't work in half the cars because it wasn't like wasn't
the right form
or whatever.
Yeah,
wasn't the right format. You can hit me up. I'll buy that back from you. But geez, Louise, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Here's a question. The industry is like obviously, especially like entertainment, going crazy with figuring out what's like how we're gonna make money, off this type of stuff, doing this, obviously. So what are your thoughts on like NFTs and all that going on with within the music industry?
Now wait, what is that? For anyone who doesn't know, like assume that everyone's like me.
I'm like NFT. Like I feel like
okay. So it's basically it's this new thing that I guess musicians, artists, even people who make films and stuff, everybody in the entertainment industry is just kind of getting back as like its own currency, basically.
Oh,
like cryptocurrency, but for the
entertainment. By the way, side note: everyone should be investing in Dogecoin. I've invested some money in it, and today I pretty much look at this. I invested 7 cents per share. Today it hit 19 cents per share. So think about the percentage in your mind. I don't have to tell you how much money I put into it, but yeah. Crypto's volatile, but
yeah, I mean that's the one thing because I saw people get in at the wrong time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's the thing. So it's patience too with the stock. Man.
Well, crypto's not like any other stock because you could trade it all day and night.
Oh yeah,
right.
It doesn't stop, but that's what makes it so volatile. Is like, and like as we see with like the GameStop thing, right? Social media could have a 100% effect on the way stocks are handled in the future because Robinhood did something that they shouldn't have done, and they pretty much turned their app off.
Yeah.
When that stuff was happening, it's like, should they have the right to do that? Is another question altogether, right? Yeah. Because today they stopped allowing you to buy or sell Dogecoin, and it's again we come back to that question: should you be allowed to do that?
Yeah, I mean, well, who do you think funded the creation of Robinhood, except for the people that?
Well, the people on the rich ones. The top of the top. Yeah,
so,
of course.
Like the people that put money into that are the ones going, "Oh my God, these guys are killing me right now!" Right?
Right. Those guys with the hedge funds, they were the ones getting smashed.
Well, that's the whole thing. And that's when they realized the power of stuff like Reddit. Like, what dude can make a joke on Reddit about like, let's buy a bunch of GameStop.
Something that's like almost on the verge of blockbusterdom, right?
Yeah, like GameStop's dead. Like that's not based on it. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing with the stock market in general. It's not real.
Right. Like I didn't even know people still use GameStop until I started the show, and people are like, oh, did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? GameStop this, Game. Well, you guys still go to GameStop? I have Amazon. I have Amazon in my pocket.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it's crazy. Sorry to go off topic.
But it's true. I mean, like you know, you anything you want delivered straight to your door within a day or two. You know, like the games are you just download them right onto the Xbox or PlayStation anyway. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
the only thing I spent, you know, I went to GameStop and I bought like the cheapest headset they had because I didn't have one that plugged into my controller, and that was the
Right.
first and last time, you know, in years that I had been there. You know, so it's
Right.
like what, and that's with Dogecoin, with I mean, in the whole economy in general, it's based off of your idea of something's worth. And so if enough people can go in, and that's exactly what they did, they went in and it's all numbers. You say, how do you take on like a billionaire? Well, you need billions of dollars. How do you get,
Yeah.
I don't know, so you get millions of people doing one thing, and
Yeah.
you
Right.
but you can put a value on something that has no basis in any fact.
Yeah.
GameStop is not worth anything. It's
Yeah.
trash, you know. It's Doge, like none of it's
None of it.
you know.
None of
But
it.
it's this game that people have now. You have the access to be able to do it yourself, and you have the information to say like, oh, I can just like get this platform. I can download this app on my phone, and I can do
Buy
you
and
know,
sell stocks. Yeah, it's
you
crazy.
know. And
It's
you say,
crazy.
I can make millions of dollars doing it. How come I can't make a couple grand? You know, why
I
not?
literally, I mean, you know, like I don't want to like out myself on how much money I put into it or anything, but I mean, let's just say this: like, say I put $400 in,
Right.
right? Today, I would have had on top of that 400, I would have had another 6, right? So it's not necessarily like, I know you're probably saying like, oh, he bought it at 8 cents, it's only at 19 cents. No, it doesn't matter.
That's
That the percentage, right? It's the percentage, not the worth. And you know, luckily my
That was me.
totally unprofessional, my friend. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
But back to that. So NFTs, and how you feel about them. So NFTs are something. So they're in a form of cryptocurrency. I'm so confused.
Right. So it's basically, like I said, it's cryptocurrency, I guess, for the entertainment industry
Right.
specifically.
Okay.
People like Boss Logic just sold one of his art pieces in NFT. People in music are selling, you know, NFTs. So basically, this is where it seems like that the industry is going to be headed towards in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to become a player for sure. Like anything, like people thought streaming wasn't going to be a thing,
Right.
you know, and now streaming is everything. I mean, the money you get from it isn't as much, so you rely heavier on other things. But what NFT and things like that will do is give you more revenue streams, give you more
Right.
ways to make money. And because money is an idea made up by people, that's not a real thing. NFTs or Dogecoin, named after a meme or whatever else.
Literally,
You know,
Dogecoin was made as a joke.
you know, it's like it's things that are jokes become value because everybody collectively says it has value. So with NFTs and things like that, even though I haven't like done much research into that myself, because you know, at my level, it's not going to be worth the work, right? If I'm not going to have, you know, 10,000 people doing something at once, you know, but it's just when an artist says this has value to me, and this person says, well, I have X amount of this and I'll give it to you for this painting, the guy says, okay, great, and that's a legitimate transaction. And then he can turn around and find somebody else that finds NFTs, those credits, valuable, and will trade goods for it, you know. And that's all it is. It's like so primal, you know. It's
Right.
it's weird how like money's like, it's not complicated, but it's turned into this thing that
That's very complicated, actually.
Right.
well, I mean, it is complicated. I mean, it's gotten to this point, but like the idea of bartering and trading is as old.
I think I mean that's as old as time itself, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, you know, some days that's why the way I wish it was. It's like, hey, I can do this service. Oh, you can do that service. Oh, I need that service. I can do this. Like, want to make a trade, right? Like, seems like we can all get along like a little bit better that way. Money makes people really greedy. Speaking of money, do you know when your next live show would ever be? No, it's still like that, huh?
Well, like, all right, here's the thing. Like it's starting to you know, like
Pick back
shows
up.
are, you know, starting to pick
Yeah.
up, and like, you know, a lot of places, since the restrictions were kind of like eased up a little bit, you know, a lot of places, like there's a shoe store in Haverhill that's been hosting little shows and stuff like that. Like, you know, businesses are going to do anything to get people in the door.
That's
No
what I'm
one,
saying.
but you know, it's kind of at this point where, you know, the first round of shows that they're going to do is going to be like limited capacity, you know, whatever. And for something like hip hop,
It's already limited in a sense.
well, I mean, not even that, but it's like, imagine a half empty room with people that are standing 6 feet away from each other. It's not very hip hop, and it's
Right.
very rock and roll. You know, it's very jazz club. Jazz clubs, I'm sure, are doing just fine. You know, but you know, but places are doing it. They're saying, hey, whatever, you're giving us 30% capacity, fine. It's a 500-person room. If we can squeeze 150 people in here, we get one bartender and one bouncer, and we'll make some money. You know,
Yeah.
hire a sound guy for the night, and that's
Right.
it. So
Honestly, it might not even be about the money at that point. It's just about the experience and like getting back out. Cause,
yeah,
you know, spending a year, like
yeah.
looking over your shoulder and,
Oh yeah.
you know, being told to stay in your house and how many people can have at Thanksgiving. It's getting old, and it's going to get old really quick.
Oh, yeah.
If it continues down the same path.
Absolutely.
I think, you know, once we hit the year mark, like things now are like, come on.
Well,
I saw a guy wearing 3 masks the other day. Come on, dude. Really?
You know,
3 masks?
I mean, listen, I'll double down if I'm going somewhere. Three is like you're just being a dick.
Yeah,
You're just being a dick. You're like,
and I
well,
knew there was 3 because there were 3 different colors.
right, yeah,
He
right,
didn't even use 3 blue ones. It was black, blue, and yellow or something. It was crazy.
yeah. I mean, you know, it's you find these people on both ends of the spectrum. Because me, I'm like, as you know, like if I was more lenient, I'd be sitting next to you, you know, because I know you had to get vaccinated, you know, and you know, and if I was more lax, I'd be there. I'm we go vaccinate, I'm fine, whatever, you know. But
Yeah.
I am the type of guy that's, you know, who's like, nah, I'm gonna chill, I'm gonna stay
Yeah.
home. Like I go to the grocery store, I go do the things. Me and Ashley went out, you know, for a dinner, you know, at an outdoor patio place, you know. But it's hit that point because in the beginning I was like, I'm not going nowhere. Don't come near me. Don't, you know.
Yeah.
It gets to a point where, you know, you start loosening up. You realize, all right, we didn't need to go that crazy. But,
Right.
but it is hitting this point where I don't want to go. I don't want to ruin the year that I put myself through, getting sick at the end of it.
Right.
3 weeks before my vaccine, like I want to get the vaccine and then I'm chilling. But if I cannot ruin, it's been a miserable year and I cannot throw that out the window because, you know,
Because you got sick and tired of right.
because I was, boy, I can't wait to do a show, you know, and it's like there's not even going to be that many people there, you know, the ones that are going to be there, you know, it's just going to be weird. And, you know, everybody's wearing masks. You don't know if anybody's enjoying it, you know, it's just.
And if anyone has seen a show, if anyone has seen an Evan show, it's definitely, it's not like a stand in place kind of thing. It's like a move around. It's energetic. I would say you're actually really energetic and really fun to watch in the sense that, you know, you're not just standing there like waving your hand up and down. It's like a really fun show. Like I had a great time.
Try to get into it, you know, and I said that too. Like I'll sometimes like lock into people, you know, for whatever reason and just do something funny or you know, weird or whatever, just for one you know.
Yeah.
Like it's
like give a wink.
Yeah. No, but exactly. Like you'll give somebody a look and like, or whatever. If you see like a dude like mean mugging you, like, cause there's always one that like, he's a rapper too. And like, I can't believe he's opening up for this guy. I could rap, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And they're always in the front row for some reason. In the front row, like staring at go get a beer or smoke or something. Like get away from me if you're just but then like, you know, he's pissed, you know, because people are around him like enjoy, you know, having enjoying the night, and he's just, I'm just waiting for Joe Button to get on. who is this? You know, but I'll fuck with that dude too. I'll be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
care. Like, I'll say something directly to him and be like, are you okay? Is something wrong? Do you need
Yeah.
help? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Do you need a
someone
beer?
for you? Do you need a beer?
Yeah.
Someone get this man a beverage because not having fun, and it's not my fault.
Right.
But yeah, man, it's you got to be energetic. You got to keep people involved. I hate having snooze fests. Even like when you have like chill music, there's a lot of people that do relaxing, chill, background wallpaper type music. But
Right.
you see them live and they engage with you. That's why
Right.
you didn't go there to just listen to the music. You went
No.
there to
Yeah.
watch the guy perform the music. And every single one of us has that hope. I still go to shows and I still have like hopes of like, I hope this person interacts with me or acknowledges me or points in my direction or says, now the people in the back and I'm in the back and I'm going to, like that's why you go to shows. So like, if you're not going to do that, and if you're going to be the type of guy that's just like sitting there rapping his thing and maybe he does like a couple of these and then like, stiffly like walks off stage.
Yeah.
Like, that's not fun for people. They want to like, I remember a show like I saw Big D in the kids table and I threw my hat up on stage because they were doing a song about Boston. It was a Boston hat. And I threw my hat up on stage and the guy like put it on for a song. I was like, no way,
Yeah,
and then he throws it back and it's like, and I never got that hat back. Somebody else like got that hat and they had a moment where they go, well, no way, I caught the hat that he threw,
and it's it goes from you having the moment with him and then he turns it into a moment with someone. That's like a really beautiful thought.
It's a beautiful thing, man. There's something, even if like none of my music is like happy go lucky, it's not like about having fun,
right.
But that's why people want to listen to it. All the music I like is angry, so it's like, even when you're going to listen to some angry rap or gangster rap or metal or rock or whatever it is, you're having fun going there with someone, and
for sure
in that space,
would you
like-minded people. Yeah.
Would you we got a couple more minutes. Would you ever like consider doing another type of music?
Yeah, I mean, I've done like I would. I mean, not under like my name now. It would probably be like I've done weird side projects that nobody knows about, and I have made like an instrumental jazz, project that I just am never gonna put out, or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I would do stuff. I think I would definitely get into something, more funk.
Yeah.
Like R&B, not as like a singer, but even as like a bass player, even as like a whatever, I would get involved in stuff like that because I think as I got older, my ears have kind of opened up to other things. And I used to shit on everything that was on the radio. And now I still don't listen to the radio, but every once in a while you hear a song that as a kid or as like an angry teenager, I'd be like, that's stupid. It's whack. I can't believe Drake,
Yeah.
But now like I'll hear a Drake record and like I'm less afraid to be like, oh, that's dope. Or I'll hear like a female singer or like a Beyonce song or this person or that person. And be more open to say like, yeah, okay, like this song doesn't really relate to me, but it's good. It sounds good. It makes me feel something, so I'm more open to that. I mean, I feel like when you're a kid, you enjoy getting in the feeling of music. Like really zone, like on your walk to the bus stop in the morning in middle school. You really get into that feeling, but you're more like closed off into what you're willing to open yourself up to liking. And as you get older, you still want to enjoy the feeling of music, but I can't listen to that, all the stuff I used to, and so yeah, I would definitely do some funk, some soul, some crossover weird stuff. I mean, anything as long as the feeling's there and it's good. I don't
right. That's I think that's a good spot. Because that's a good position to have. Someone was telling me the other day is like, you should never say never. You should just say, like historically I've done this, but what does the future hold? I don't know. Right.
Yeah.
Like historically I've rapped.
Right.
but who knows what tomorrow will bring.
Yeah.
And you know, I thought that was probably one of the coolest things I've ever heard. Because you could say that for a lot of different things. Like historically, I've eaten meat, but who knows what's in the future?
Right.
Literally, like
Right.
take a topic and
Yeah.
use that. And I think because to say never is a really really solid, like
Yeah.
tie it in a bow.
Definite. It's a
Yeah.
definite. It's
Yeah.
and it's so funny. Even if you want it and you tell yourself you can't, it's not going to happen. If you ever say I cannot, you know, it's never going to happen. And so I just think that I was kind of raised in such a way where like my parents were like, you want to like draw. You want to sing. You want to play guitar lessons. Okay. Oh, now you're bored of guitar lessons. Fine. You know, but never. I was always taught to just never, you know, have a regret about anything you do. So I'll never say never to anything because when I look back in 20 years, I mean, or whatever it is, you want to know that you lived. I mean, it's a crazy, beautiful world out there, man. You never want to feel like you missed out on anything you could have experienced while you're on, you know, have your time here. And
Absolutely.
so I'll never
Oh
close.
my God.
You know,
Hey, by the way,
real.
so here's a fun fact.
Yeah.
I just bring it back to Dogecoin. My tenant, right? He texted me and he said, "Bro, Dogecoin is skyrocketing still. So it's plus 102% today. So all the money, any money that you've had in it, doubled today.
Watch
So
the Friday. It's gonna do some weird stuff. Hold on, I'm putting on. I don't know what platform you guys use, but I use Thinkorswim, so I got to pull it up. I want to look at it real quick while you're talking about it. If it's even on here, I don't even know if they got Dogecoin on here. I don't do crypto on this stuff. I started mining that new one, Pi.
Pi, yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, what people want is they want it to be like the dollar bill, the $5 bill, the $10 bill, the $100, you know what I mean, so on and so forth. So you have things like Bitcoin would be the highest, right? And then
That's right. Yeah.
what's the next one? It starts with an E.
Oh, it's
Theranos? No.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, it's they're the ones that run Ethereum. They run
Ethereum, and then there's Ethereum
yeah,
Classic,
yeah.
and then there's Dogecoin, and then there's yada yada. And I do think that it's pretty interesting to like watch.
Yeah.
You know, stocks are definitely like it's a gamble. Don't spend anything that you can't afford to lose. Right? You know, people spend their entire life savings and then they jump off a building. You know, that's a sad true fact,
because it's gambling, because it's a game too, right? Once again, it's not like you. I mean, you can look at like a business's like numbers, their like quarterly reports, and say, okay, they did well. Looks like this time last year they had a good push when they did X, Y, or Z. So I think they're going to do well, and you can make those types of decisions. But at the end of the day, if a million dudes on Reddit decide that they want to
boost GameStop. Yeah, exactly.
There, you know, so it's but so yeah, I definitely think another thing too is to when you're planning it out, like when I was picking stuff, I would start like, you know, drawing trend lines on charts and saying, you know, is it worth holding for 45 days, or does it look like it's gonna dip before, you know, because if you hold it for so long, you get that, like, you get a crazy benefit to not selling quickly. My God. But man, God, I'm gonna just not talk about the stock market actually, because that's just
we'll go. You're gonna have to join us in the morning sometime because we have more of an open forum.
Yeah.
And it's enjoyable.
And
you get your coffee.
Yeah.
You get your coffee, your breakfast, and we just sit down and talk. And it really has been. It's been allowing me to do, you know, like you feel good. Like, you know, especially like if you have work after, like you're awake and you've been talking for an hour and a half, right? So like your brain is flowing. It allows me to bounce ideas off of him to I. We talk about, you know, we'll dabble in politics, whatever, right? Yeah. And it's fun.
Do you find that, so like today would be like a double, like a back-to-back, like a double header? Like,
Yeah, it was supposed to be, and it was still will be. And I don't mind doing that right now because I am like furloughed right now, right? So the back to back thing, like it doesn't feel back to back because for me, like this is my baby, right? This is
exactly right.
this is mine.
Yeah.
So like I'm putting the work in. I mean,
True.
there were days like leading up to the Snyder cut where I was doing 170 hours a week in this show. Like I'm not just sitting by. A lot of people are like, oh, you're not working right now. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm still working. Like, it's just on something that I'm passionate about, and like I'm turning it into a brand, right? So like I'm putting the foundation of the house in pretty much.
Right.
And that's what honestly this time, the pandemic time is, I'll probably refer to it for the rest of my life, is it allowed me to build a foundation for the show, but it also allowed me to spend time with my mother, who wasn't going to make it out of the pandemic. And, as for as much as like I hate it, it almost seemed fated, right?
Yeah. I mean,
how could that not?
It's crazy. I mean, first off, I mean, I can't even imagine, but
It's okay.
It's been weird. These, the weird sort of blessings that came out of this. We were talking about, pandemic ruining live shows, but what it did do was it leveled the playing field for a lot of myself included. Like a year ago, I'm still like generally unknown, right? But a year ago, even outside of the people I perform for on tour and like, a very like limited group of people, not a whole lot of people were privy. And but what happened during this pandemic is all the people that were living in New York there for the music scene, there's no music scene in New York or LA, like it's shut down in LA. There is not that live aspect. So you have like all these talented sort of like up and coming musicians that are like, oh, I'm just going to go home. Like if I'm going to be stuck in a house, I might as well not have to pay $2,000 a month for one bedroom, so it was this like great equalizer that said, it doesn't matter where you are, or how much time or how close you are to a venue or to this or to that, you can do your thing, focus on perfecting your craft, working on a lot of new stuff and really working it out, and then coming out and being able to put it out without worrying about, an oversaturated, market. In New York where, the A&Rs are that, don't have time to listen to anybody that's not from there. And so now it's opened it up and everybody can get something out. And if you can get a viral TikTok dance made after the best 5 seconds of your song, your life is changed. So it's been this cool thing that
I think
in some ways.
I think if you take the world pre-pandemic as well, right? And this is a funny thing. Because I think if you take the world pre-pandemic, everything seemed like it was like if the world was a person, it had a stick up its ass, right? And it was almost like we needed this reset button. And we needed to remember what it was like to cherish our families. We need to remember what it was like to be responsible for your child and not send them off to school every day to be taught by this other human the social skills that need for the rest of its life. Like not, I'm sorry for parents who, did struggle, right? But you also got to see who your child really was and what they actually need. And you got to spend time with them. And, no one took vacations. People were just together, right? You were you and your family were together. And that, I thought that was, when we come out of this, man, I think the world will be changed for a little bit. It'll probably go back to the same way it was, but I think we're going to appreciate things more.
I think it's going to be like the second Roaring 20s, dude. I really think we're going to, be just like you saw, after World War I and during Prohibition and all that weird stuff, and that, people were turning out, and so I think it's going to be the next version of that. And I also think that, it
would be the Roaring 20s again.
It definitely
will.
It will be.
No, literally.
It will be. Yeah. No, it literally the
20s. Yeah.
But I think that, some people were lucky enough to be home with family. Other people, were like me. I'm with my wife and my dog. But I haven't seen my mom you know, or my dad or my, you know, my grandparents. And like, it's tough going that long without seeing like your people, your friends, like, you know, how many times, like, you know, we could have chilled that we
Yeah.
didn't just because, you know, for no real good reason, or how many times, you know, you could have seen your grandparents, but you're like, you know, they're,
Right,
you
right.
know, I gotta,
I'll catch him on the next time.
yeah, and, you know,
Yeah.
like you never know. And so it's really kind of hit this point where I think like a lot of people are gonna think about that stuff and say, I am gonna go visit my grandparents. I'm gonna pick up the phone. I'm gonna call this guy. You know, next time I
Yeah.
get, you know, invited to a party that I normally wouldn't go to, like I'm gonna go to it just because these people are there.
Yeah.
And like I don't care, you know, and it's really gonna. I think it is. I think you're totally right. Like people are gonna appreciate everything a lot more. And
Yeah.
it's
And
great
and
to be able to do it.
it's weird because, like, you know, whether you believe in God or a higher power or whatever, right? Whatever you believe in, but it's like, it's almost like nature knew, right? It's like nature knew, like, we were on the edge, like we were on the brink of imploding. And it was like, all right, well, let's reset it, right? You know, to all, you know, the people that lost their lives, you know, I'm sorry, like that's, you know, it's really is terrible. You know, I don't know what to say about that. You know, I lost someone during this as well, and from an unrelated cause. So, you know, I'm with you, right? So I get it. It's a sad reset button, and it's a sad way to put it, but it was almost like it was needed because something else, like World War III or something, was impending because tensions were so high, or this nation was this, you know, now all of a sudden, I have empathy for someone in Afghanistan. They have empathy for me because we just been through the same exact thing. The virus is universal.
Right.
Rich, poor, white, blue, green, yellow, whatever.
Yeah, man. It's 100% true. It's like you can go anywhere in the, you know, almost anywhere. There's other places that, you know, New Zealand did all right. They made
Right.
it almost unscathed. But yeah, you could go to Afghanistan or these other places, or, you know, Pakistan, name a country, China, you know, you could go there, and
Everybody's affected.
everybody's got that shared experience.
Shared experience,
And
yes.
that's really what it is to be able to empathize with somebody. And I don't, you know, our cultures are 100% different, but at the end of the day, you're a human being that was deprived of like the most human, you know, interaction for an entire year with everybody else. And I think that's just, you know, it's like when you can, it's like oh God, I was about to say something so bad, dude. I was gonna say, I'm gonna say it anyway. It's
Okay.
like a battered women's Facebook group. You know what I mean? It's like one of those Facebook groups. I'm sorry that I said
where we
battered.
have a mutual, like, where we have like you're right, a common, and it's not a bad thing. It's not.
No, I don't know why I went there with it. It could have been like it's a arthritis Facebook group, right? It's you can go there and say, you know, and you can lean on those people from all over. So yeah,
because I, like, you know, maybe we haven't lived, you know, you're richer than me, or you have more of a social following, you know, or you've been given different opportunities that I have, but for once, like, we're the same, and you know, we have this one thing in common. So, like, you know, let's see what else, you know, let's see where it goes. Like, I know I can talk to you about this, and because maybe you've been through it, and it goes longer than that. And I do understand what you're saying, and that was a good comparison.
I think it was a poor
Of all the things to pick. See, that's what she does. She got to keep you in line, brother.
She probably knew it was coming like before it happened.
She's like, yeah, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Oh God. She's like, I was like expecting, like, you know, like a pillow. Yeah.
Well, man, I can't wait to have you actually in here. And that's gonna be a really fun time. And you know, God,
not gonna take that stuff for granted anymore, dude.
Hell yeah. So, you know, this isn't the end of it. This is just so long. We will definitely have you back. I do have a little virtual date after this, which I gotta, if I'm late, you know, if I'm late too, she's gonna, you know.
Yeah, tell her I said sorry, tell her I said what's up, and you know, we got to do this again because I didn't get a chance to talk about
the Snyder cut.
Nicolas Cage, Snyder cut.
Right. I saved the
20,
best.
40, you know, come on, bro.
Yeah, I
Like,
saved the best. Well, actually, real quick before you go, whatever, right? I'll tell her like I tripped and fell or something.
she's watching, bro.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. What am I saying? What did you think? Like, if you had to give the Snyder cut 1 through 10.
I would give it, man, you know, all right, I'm going to say this. If it wasn't a special thing, like if it just came out as the first version, it wouldn't have got as high of a score as I gave it now for a couple of reasons. Because one, the original to me felt like it was like was edited by someone with dementia, and we know there were reasons for that. We all know the stories that happen, you know, the whole process when they brought people, you know, new people in.
Oh yeah,
and whatever. But I'll give it this. I will say this: it was much better than the original. I'm gonna give it like
it is the original, Evan.
Oh, you're right. It is the original. I'm gonna give it a strong 7.
All right.
For 2, and I could have gone hot, but I think that there could have been just a little bit more massaging in there. I think that there was and I get it was like fan service to like, I want to include all of my ideas. I don't care if it's 4 hours long. I don't care if the epilogue is 40 minutes long or whatever it was. You know, I'm going to put it up. This is what I wanted to show people. You know, this was going to be the setup for the next one. This was all these pieces that made, you know, and I really I enjoyed that. It took me, you know, 3 sittings to finish it, but like, I thought it was great. So, so I would give it a 7, much better. God, it just makes
Don't tell me that you rated Kong and Godzilla higher than that.
Absolutely not.
Oh,
Kong
okay.
versus Godzilla was Millie Bobby Brown is not a good.
Wow, you belong here, honestly, because
in season 1 of
Stranger Things.
That's where she.
You know what it is we shouldn't let our children be actors because they don't know who they are yet.
No, and it's not her fault that that they just were like, she's on this hit show and she's the character.
Do you want to know why that she was a hit? She didn't really speak much.
She didn't say anything. She had like 2 lines and like the first season. It was like all she needed to do was. And the funny thing is that in all of her roles now, what does she do? Opening scene, her first scene in Kong versus Godzilla. Dad, why do you King Kong Godzilla needs our help, Dad? You know, and she just doesn't know how to act, dude.
Oh, yeah, like,
she's got 1 speed. She's got 2 speeds, like comatose and cocaine.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, listen, she's getting to that age where it's fine because, you know, she chose to be an actress and or, you know, her parents chose her to be an actress. Listen, I've been saying I don't like her acting. It's not that I don't like her person, right? I do not like her acting.
Right.
I don't think she's a talented actress. I think she has a lot to learn.
For sure, and she's young.
She's young, and that's what like makes people feel bad,
right? But she was thrown into a position she shouldn't be in. Number one, there shouldn't be a teenage character in Godzilla versus King Kong.
I don't think it's needed.
No,
there shouldn't be any human characters in Godzilla versus King Kong.
No. You
humans are there to be. Well, for the most part, the humans should be there to get stepped on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
You know,
I agree.
You know, but they just.
I think people are ready for a full-on monster film. Very little, like how everybody talked about Godzilla versus Kong. They were like, couldn't give a shit about Alexander Skarsgård and those guys.
But I would argue that you need it.
You need. I think you need. You definitely.
What is the movie going to be silent the whole time? No one.
Right. You need context. You need back.
Right.
You need to know what's happening. You know, it's happening in a human world. So but geez, Louise, I mean, goodness.
Well, I think even just like the glimpse of Hollow Earth stuff shows like how much people like want.
I really love the Hollow Earth stuff. Actually, I was super into that, and I thought that was probably is what gets me excited for like the future of it.
Right.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but there were just so many moments where I'm like, hyped on that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
so many moments where I'm like,
All right, come on, let's go. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
you know, you guys, you didn't know that he was doing. You've been watching him on camera the whole time, and you didn't know King Kong could do that. You have him on camera. That was the opening scene. You jerk. All right, I know you got to go and tell her I said I'm sorry. How? And it happens all the time with movies. How many writers do you think were involved? More than one, for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
A room full, right?
Oh yeah.
Tons of actors, producers, director of photography, director of this.
Yeah.
Like how does a company go, we're going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on this? This script and this storyline is going to go through all these different people, right? And not one person. And that whole group of that whole thing went, wait a minute. Wait, you're telling me nobody realized that he could do this? You're telling me that, like, they didn't even try to fill in the holes, not even a little bit. And that's what kills me, is you think we're stupid and you will spend all this money on something because HBO Max is going to pay for it anyway. And like, you're just going to force feed us bullshit. And you could have just,
I
could have taken me and put me in that room. And I would have said, that doesn't make any sense. You should do that. And like, come on, they didn't. How does all these people just make all this money and not one of them? That's just when I can't rationalize why something happened, and it's like stupid, easy mistakes like that, or like easy like plot holes that you're just like, that contradicts what you said a half an hour ago.
Yeah.
But also, I think you have to take it as so many people aren't like us. You know, like they see Godzilla versus Kong, they're like,
right, but like
you know,
I would argue that
us are the ones that made the movie.
Yeah,
right.
You should have known better. I thought you loved Hollywood. You asshole.
Yeah. It seemed like Warner Brothers maybe chopped it up a little bit.
I mean,
like,
it's gonna happen.
Because we've seen Warner Brothers meddle before, right? So we've seen them come in and change scripts. They say no to this. You have this movie, you have this concept that they greenlit, but then after the fact, they come in and they say, no, this scene isn't needed. But you're like, no, it is. It might be a simple cut scene, but it explains this, right? Without it, now this doesn't make sense.
Right.
And they take it out against better judgment or against better advice or whatever it is, against, whatever. Against better judgment, or I don't know what it is.
It's like,
I don't know what the saying is, but now all of a sudden you have plot holes that you didn't before. Warner Brothers is very, 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 very famous for making movie by committee.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they've been, it's just they're that type of place. I mean, oh man, but like, what about like Tenet? Like, did anybody watch that movie and feel like you didn't know why people were fighting?
What do you mean?
What I mean? Like there's like that, like a battle scene going on, right? And you kind of
at the end.
Yeah, you kind of don't. You're like, are they fighting themselves? Is this like, because they're going this way, and then, but who's fighting?
Why do I have to turn up and down the volume every couple of minutes?
Why?
That was my biggest problem with that film. The audio is terrible. Oh my God.
It's one knob. You just put a compressor on it and it works. It's just like, that's what I mean, dude. Easy mistakes.
Did you like Tenet?
No.
Oh, no. Wow. Okay.
I loved the idea of Tenet.
Right. But you didn't like the execution.
Man, it was just certain things. And I thought he even did a pretty okay job of like explaining like the physics of it and kind of made it, because dude, I love movies. You can tell me that like there's people made out of literal feces on a planet and I'll be like, it's a movie, of course. Yeah. Can happen in a movie. I buy into that. Like, I'm not the type of guy that's going to criticize the realism of a movie.
Hashtag Andrew, wherever you are, that's you.
But I want to know what's going on, and with Tenet, man, I just felt like what's happening, but there's no stakes. There's no stakes in it. You don't care. I'm like, I don't really care what happens here because I don't even know. There seems like they're fighting someone, but I don't know who the bad guys are because they're dressed the same as the good guy. And it's like,
yeah, you know, Chris Nolan did something there that I don't think he should have, because you're right. You didn't know who they were fighting because they never really made themselves aware. Like they never like tell you specifically like, hey, this is the bad guy here.
right,
And this is the good guy.
right.
Right. You're like following the camera. People are shooting at them. You're like, what the fuck? What is going on here? And eventually you get, you know, I do understand what you're saying. And I definitely found that hard to follow.
Yeah.
Definitely found it hard to follow.
Yeah,
I asked myself the same exact question you just said.
Yeah, but and that's a thing because I feel like it's like another thing clicked when I first watched it. I might need to like, unfortunately, watch it again. Yeah, I know. You know,
Oh my God, he's so right.
And I get that, right? Like, don't even try to understand it. But fuck you, Christopher Nolan. Why don't you try to explain it to me?
Yeah, I feel like he's gotten. I feel like he's gotten a little meta. Oh my God, exactly.
Egos go through.
He's like
because think about the two films we're coming off of right now. We got Dunkirk, which I thought was a heaping pile of trash.
Whoa,
yeah,
hey, whoa, you can't just say that, right? Whoa,
yeah. So Dunkirk's a heaping pile of hot garbage, and then we get Tenet, which I thought for the most part did okay, but the execution on some things were pretty rough, right? So it's almost like Chris Nolan's like start strong, right? We get Memento, then we get my lord,
Prestige.
Prestige. Thank you, Prestige, and like it's like we're climaxing, right? We're about to climax, and then you get Dunkirk and Tenet, right? So like we're on the down slope now. I think Warner Brothers gave him a little bit too much leniency, which is kind of the opposite of what they're known for. And it's like, oh, it's Chris Nolan, right?
Yeah,
let him do his thing. So I do think he does need. You can't pretend that audiences are going to get everything 100% of the time.
And I want some mystery too. I don't want you to give me all the answers. I love that's why I love David Lynch. That's why I love Twin Peaks and like, you know, things where he kind of like he doesn't give you the answers, but he gives you a story. You know,
right.
He gives you the equation to get to the answer.
Well, that's what I mean. You know the plot, and he's not going to tell you how it ends, but he's going to like leave you caring enough about the characters and the story and what happened to sit there and go, you know, there's whole Reddits that are you know, built off of like.
Well, that's my problem with Dunkirk is you don't know who the characters are for the most part. You don't know their names. You don't have an attachment to any of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was purposely done that way. I find that and his reasoning was, and you know, Andrew could back it up, or anyone who's in the military could back it up, or anyone who's in the military at the time of wars, you don't know who the person next to you might be. Right. But you don't know their name necessarily, but you know that you would do anything for them. Right. Get in front of a bullet, right. Whatever it may be. And he wanted that sense of realism. And I get that. But as a movie, like you're as a film, part of the experience is understanding who the characters are, understanding what their motivations are, and maybe understanding how they got there. And I feel like that film lacked it.
Right. But I think that's, I see your point, but also this wasn't a film in that sense. This was a film of learning and being with the characters in this moment, in this experience of you, the audience member, almost as you're the character. You're seeing. That's how it was incredibly immersive to me. For me, I felt like I just felt the tensity and the pressure that these guys, you know.
Yeah. I liked it. I'll say this. I liked it too. I like Dunkirk. But I did like it more watching it again because it's one of those, because then you get to the point where you know what happens, how you can start looking for those things that he's talking about. So I will say that the first time I watched, I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah. Right. You know, like it was cool. It was a weird thing he was doing with like the timelines, but I don't really understand where was that a different day that he was flying, you know?
Right.
And so then when you go back and watch it, you're kind of anticipating that, you know, it's going to happen. and then you can start picking up on the fun things that Christopher Nolan likes to put in his movie, and those weird little, like, this is one thing that this person says that actually means something, but in passing you wouldn't think about it. And so
Right.
that's why I like watching movies a couple of times, because then you can get into the mind of the guy, and
For sure.
really, and maybe that's why I should maybe watch Tenet again, so I can kind of get a better feeling, just with a general understanding of the scenes and stuff.
Right.
Kind of pay a little bit more attention to other things and maybe get more out of it. But man, oh man, Interstellar though, I liked Interstellar shit.
Oh, don't start.
Andrew
Interstellar
Interstellar might be my favorite film.
Masterpiece. It's masterpiece.
Good.
My list goes like this as of right.
Yes, Andrew. So sorry, dude.
Yeah, my list as of right now stands as follows. So it's Titanic, because nothing will ever take Titanic's spot for me.
Okay.
It's sentimental, so don't ask me why. But
for sure.
Titanic. So Titanic's numero uno. So my list really starts at number 2, right?
Yeah.
And now it's Interstellar, and the Snyder Cut, and then we have Captain America, Winter Soldier. So Winter Soldier was don't tell me that Winter Soldier didn't have you on the edge of your goddamn seat until from start to finish, because it did.
Yeah, it was good. Listen, those DC, Marvel gave you the blueprint. They did.
No. Listen,
let's pretend Snyder Cut never happened. If you bring there's
a blueprint is one thing. Yeah, all right. So paying homage to like another creator or something. I just don't think that we needed what I think is we didn't need DC to be Marvel, right? Because we want that yin and yang.
Right. But I'd like a little bit more setup. I mean, or rather, some of the ideas in Snyder Cut were so exciting to me. I wish they were movies. You know what I mean?
Right.
I want a movie of Superman snapping and destroying the earth. I want that movie. You know?
At the end of the day, it wasn't how Snyder was going to do it. It's just the fact they didn't let him do it, because all of that stuff would have, come to pass. Like you look at Endgame.
The next movie was going to be a nightmare movie.
Right. You look at it like the fans like when something happens in the first movie and then 5 movies later they reference it and it becomes a thing. That's exactly where Zach was headed. It's just the studio cut him off and go, oh yeah, that was absolutely he was gonna head absolutely.
Right. Wait, no, I wasn't saying that to you. I was saying it to this. He hasn't seen the Titanic. Guys, listen, I gotta go. I'm super sorry.
Listen, but you know what? We talked plenty about music this time. Next time we're getting into movies.
Hell yeah, my friend. Hell yeah. And I like the enthusiasm for next time. Guys, I didn't do it at the beginning because I didn't want to waste too much time. But please, we always encourage you to share your thoughts and opinions, because without you, there is no us. Become a patron of the show. That's as of right now. That helps the most. It's only $5 a month, and it really goes towards a common goal of making the pop culture corner a success. So I really do appreciate it. We did just launch it. It's been a challenge to like get people to do it, or like because we're still new. But to Caden, Odd, and to Nick DePalma, and that one, Carlos, you guys, you guys are setting the bar high. I really do appreciate it, everyone. Thank you so much, Evan, for coming here today. I couldn't, I really do love when I get to talk to someone that maybe I don't need an introduction, right?
Yeah.
We can get past all that and just talk.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, no, it felt great. Yeah, Austin, man, like I had a great time to chat with you guys, and I can't wait to do it again. I really appreciate you having me, man. It was a lot of fun. Yeah,
man. So, all right, so we'll have Evan say it. So Evan, you're gonna say, we do it for you, and then we do it for the culture. All right, so say it. 3, 2, 1.
We do it for you. We do it for the culture.